You can see the same house design over and over again. If you want to be creative and original, using new techniques will help you to level up your portfolio and will make it look more professional. If you're ready for a new journey, subscribe to my channel and let's do it together. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Often beginners and mid artists might think that creating the models like that can be complicated, but that's not true. You just need to learn how to use new tools that will make your workflow much more faster and easier, as well as combination of the materials and new techniques. Reference research plays a huge role in the 3D modeling process. It gives you more freedom and more options to play with and explore. You can change the age of the model, make it look more older, combine different texture like wood, metal, raw, but the most important thing right now is to find the core of the model. You need to have this concept in your head. I also have a separate video about reference research on my channel. If you haven't seen this video yet, I would recommend you to watch it here. There is many advices that can be really useful for you. Right now I'm so excited because I'm gonna combine different shapes, play with the rhythm and with different sizes of those shapes, combine textures such as wood, metal, rope. I really want to create this house that is kind of a Captain Fisherman house that looks very unusual, but in the same time so natural. I noticed that very often artists use blocky layout, but today I really want to experiment with the forms and to get as natural result as I can, in the same time to make the design of the house looks interesting. I don't know how far it will take me, I have many ideas, but I'm sure that it's gonna be one of my best experiments so far. Challenge yourself and go to the place where you have never been before. This is CG Bird Studio. Start as a beginner, master as a pro. Step by step, model to model, getting smarter, stronger, faster. In this adventure, we will be better artists in the end. Starting from Blockout helps me to plan the concept without having a 2D concept. Adding blocks, blending windows, roofs, making the house looks interesting. That's a very important stage that takes some time, but this is the vision of your project that will lead you to success or not. You pick. Here I add some fabric, wood object with a combination of metal. Here I plan the stuff such as different roofs with interesting shapes, plan the environment. I add the difference for this house. This is a beach house, so I try to make it fit with the colors, details and nets. In my blockout, I'm using cylinders, barrel shape, cabins, and curves in wood. As you can see, cylinders and tool spin helps me to make it faster. Everything you need to do is just move the origin in the right place and it's done. Simple deform helps us to deform the objects to make it look more real. My role is to find a character of the building, and I have all the freedom to do everything what I want. I'm not focusing on blockout in this video, I have another video with a detailed explanation. I also have a character here for the size. Let me introduce you. This is the base Spider-Man 1. In a little bit later, you will meet base Spider-Man 2. This is the future underwater room ventilation. Are you excited? Me too. My vision is complete. Now the time for execution. I make components for the building that will be useful in the future in many different places, such as boards, windows, columns. At the same time, I'm trying to get closer to the final stage of the model because I'm making copy and it's better to make it right for the first time than trying to change it later. Some models will be definitely improved in the future. This is only the beginning stage. I also using bevel to get good quality models. Bevel the edges looks way more natural. Also, as you can see, I have all the boards and so on as separate models because I'm trying to change them, add some more life, change the width so it doesn't look that cubic, it looks more or less natural. Variety in sizes, different bevel settings, and just size in general. If you go outside and look around, there's There is no boards all the same. They either have different widths or they have different size. I'm trying to bring the life, bring the variety, and make it look natural. When the time comes to build your portfolio, start working on a new model, or even think about concept, it's important to have a story. Stories and storytelling are everywhere. They are in video games, comics, books, and your art. Think about what story you want to tell, what skills you want to present, and how to combine all those components together. If you want to achieve truly amazing renders, with ideas that catch attention, with the environment, heroes, characters that pull attention of the viewer and make them to stay and view your art for a long time, classes from artist James Rozak on Skillshare will help you a lot. Being good in 3D modeling is different than being able to tell the stories and represent your artworks to the audience. I often discuss how many skills an artist needs to master to create truly amazing artworks. Skillshare is the largest online learning community with 1,000 of classes on many topics. Level up your storytelling, learn how to grow your personal brand, and also how to make the first step as a freelancer, improve your Blender skills, and way more. On Skillshare, you can do more than you think. Explore different categories such as design, illustration, animation, creativity, and more. Discover interesting video with a detailed description of what you will learn. In this class, you will learn how to tell the story in your art, how to use the character and environment to make it look natural. Those details that will change completely how the viewer feels about your artwork and pull their attention to spend more time watching and exploring your art. With many examples, with great explanation that will encourage you to use this knowledge in your art and explore more. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive 1 month free trial of Skillshare. Join Skillshare and master your storytelling. Get started today. I'm using the system for the roof where I create one tile and then copy it in one row. It's important to select the transform pivot point for individual origins because all of your object will scale individually no matter how many objects you select, and all the scales transforms will be applied for individual origins instead of the center. After I got one line, I copied more rows and ended up with almost 100 of them. Now I'm lost and I don't know how to manage it. Just kidding. Using collection helps me with easy selection and navigation in the scene. I have a reason for doing this way. I'm not just spending my time for nothing. After, I will randomly select the models and change their size to make it look natural. I also delete some of them, so it looks like some of the tiles are missing, as usually happens on the roof, because the roof was made long time ago. A few days later. So as a result, we have really nice looking roof that you cannot even tell if you look at it that it was made by just copying all the same tiles. It looks more natural. One of the first rules in 3D modeling and the real world is to use patterns with a random or consistent rhythm. The board has more than 4 straight polygons. Every board looks different, it's not perfect. 3D modeling is not perfect in any way. Finally, with all deformation and changes, the roof is complete. I just needed to mirror it, And that's all. Congratulations! As you might have noticed, I really enjoy it. The house featured different shapes, different sizes, different proportion, and when viewed from various angles in perspective, it shouldn't look properly square. Squares are boring. Don't be boring. Let people explore your model and have fun with it. Let people enjoy the moment. Let their imagination build more than they can see. The roof occupies a lot of space in your model, and this space is open for experiments. However, it's important not to leave this area without interesting details. Even planks that are larger or smaller than the main form create this rhythm, encouraging people to explore and wonder. This approach makes the design look aesthetic and beautiful, adding life to the building. For a fisherman house, I consider specific elements like barrel shapes, ropes, and ocean-related details like fishes, flags, and ropes. Play with the idea of thinking about if you were on this island, how would you recognize that the fisherman lives here? Add specific items that people use in their daily lives, add some tools, add some barrels, and a little bit later we will make the dessert that will be a peak of this topic. I cannot wait. I will create several types of windows, including shaded, open, and closed variation. We will use different shapes such as cylinder types. Variety adds life to the model. Some windows will be used in specific times, while other will not. Some of them will be open, some of them will be closed. I will need it to achieve more natural results. Also, the texturing process will help me to make it more real, apply all the dirt, and so on, to bring the variety to the scene. Creating all those prefabs or models will give me enough room to change them and will look so much better. Look at this window and notice how the small details make difference. The front door is very important. I have placed rock all around it using a curve and array modifier to make the process faster and easy. Later, I will randomly adjust the size. I will need to apply those modifiers to do it, but for UV unwrapping and texturing, it will be easier to do it a little bit later. We have already brought life to the scene and we just begun. There is so much ahead of us. If I left the dock flat, it would look boring. Additionally, it needs to be close to the water to park a boat or move cargo, so people need to work there. I love the results so far. Now I can experiment with the beams, sides, and proportion. Think about how to make this structure interesting and actually work in the real life. I also use the simple deform modifier to the small roofs to adjust their shape. My goal is to transform a perfectly mirrored, manufactured roof to something that calls naturally weathered or hand assembled. In a simple word, perfect mirror to natural destroyed. At the top of the roof, I will add wood elements shaped like fish bones. It looks really good. I was inspired by idea from other artists that I saw in Pinterest. If I think about texture, light colors would work really great on this. The house has a fireplace, so I use bricks to bring forms to the models. It also works very well when you have some specific texture as brick and you make bricks with a 3D modeling on the corners or on the center, so it looks so much better. The house in general, the dogs make it look so good, and I also improve the front columns to look nice. I'm really very happy with the result, but we keep going. Now where the most perfect part begins. I have most of the models ready to put them together. I will make a few more windows, but for right now, I will just enjoy this moment. The top of the house I want to look like a boat or a ship. I have a small tower and sails plan, and I will create a simple version similar to what you would find a large sailboat. You can also notice that I have added wooden beams to the edge of the building. It makes the house looks like the old styles, follow all this old system, follows all traditional building method, and also make it easier to work with the texture on the edges. In the same time, it adds the forms because you can change the beam in any shape you want, and it is a cheap way to make the house looks better. It's really hard to imagine straight beams perfectly aligned 90 degrees to each other. To achieve natural destroy it. This time when to fix it, you need to break it. Let's do it. I do want it to look good. Some of the details will be added with the textures, but for right now, it will work with a combination with the 3D details as well. Let's wake up this house. For the rope system, I use add-on geo cables. It works great here. I will also use the rope texture. Visually, it will be like real rope. To create cables with this add-on, I just need to point to a place where the cable has to be created and add another points. You can make as many of them as you want. You can edit them and change many parameters. Rope is not rope if you have only one cable. You need to have hooks, connection, and rope should be loose or weighted. With this add-on, you can easily change how many of them you have on one connection. Make sure that the rope is secure, it connected to roof or a beam. There is plenty room to play with all of that. Do you want to have a natural scene? Think about all of those scenes. There is no fisherman house without fish. There should be fish on the top. I find it really effective to use materials like wood or metal to create signs in the shape to align with the main idea. Here it's a fish. I will also add flags on the top and small fish decoration. In the same time, you shouldn't overload your scene. Play with the rhythm, don't copy the same fishes. At least change the rotation or the scale. The final part for right now is to add the character to the building. Adding more wood-looking bones on the middle part of the house make it look both cool and slightly dangerous. It will also reflect what might happen and what people do that lives here. I also have to complete the story in this scene, it's not completed. You will see the final result in my social media later. I also think that this project can be improved, and also if I step away from a few days, then come back and make some small adjustment, it will improve my scene, my models. Also, more renders with the characters will be coming soon. I'm very excited to add the characters, make the scene look alive, add the texture and make really good renders. Also, I'm very excited to share my progress for many years working in Blender, including these projects, in my next videos. I really enjoyed working on this project. I hope it will encourage and will be motivation for you to work on your new project, to change a little bit from the standard cubic houses to way more. Started from changing the shape of the roofs to adding secret rooms, underwater, underground, on the top, on the sides. Let your imagination fly around and explore, and let people enjoy your art. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching my video. I hope it was useful and interesting for you. I really tried hard to make this model very interesting and tried to experiment with the stuff. So in this way I can learn a lot and I can share those skills with you. Subscribe to my Patreon to read the most important from my videos, the guide that will be useful every time you start modeling. Remember only the most important scene. And see you in my new video. It was your favorite CG Bear channel. Bye bye.